Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So yesterday, what we have seen, like how to build. Basically, we tried a pipeline, right, for Redis pipeline. How to build and how to deploy into an app service. Now, let us try today. Similar application. How to deploy to a virtual machine. So we create a virtual machine, right? And what is the difference? Like yesterday, we have created three app services. So here also you can have multiple virtual machines, one for QA, one for dev, one for production. Similarly, you can do it, right? So, but demo purpose, we'll do in one VM. It is same. There is no difference creating a virtual machine and deploying into different virtual machines. But in real time, you can have multiple virtual machines. First, create a virtual machine. Log into portal.azure.com. Go to your resources and create a virtual machines. Select virtual machines under the resources. And here, you can create a virtual machine. Create. So again, a subscription is mandatory. So you can choose the same resource group what we created yesterday. Or if you want, you can create a new one. Do some name, some information, like some name, some unique name. Web app. And rest of the things you can region, let it be the default. Any image is fine. Okay. No. You have to choose your say image type. So Ubuntu server, whatever the version, free service eligible. So for free of cost, you will get this. In case if you want other ones also, you can select, which will be charged. Free service available. Let me take this. Okay. Any server, whichever latest version also, if you want, whichever you want, you can take. No problem. Size 64, let it be. Standard size, this is okay. This is actually 802 rupees per month. You can go ahead with the standard other ones also if you want, you can choose. Okay, standard CPU. Okay, this is not eligible for free. This is only eligible for free. We'll go ahead with this one. Okay, and give some name. Can you please be on mute for this? Nagendra, thank you. Okay, and you need to select the inbound ports in case if you want. So we are going to enable HTTP, right? Or HTTPS also, in case if whichever inbound ports you want. RDP is mandatory to connect to that, right? So I have enabled HTTP also. Next, disk level. So leave. I'm okay with the default one. Just leave it the default ones. Okay. Just review and create. So this is what the charge I'm going to charge. Let's say 1 rupee change for 1 hour for this virtual machine because I have taken very standard minimum one, basic one. Okay. Okay. Let it create. See, this is what the credits I have right now, 15,800. Even this 1 rupee or whatever it is will be deducted from this amount only, nothing from my credit card. Depends on the region, depends on the load. The time will vary actually to create this. Okay. Your VM is ready now. Let us go to that VM and connect to it. Yeah. Here you have option to connect.
This is Windows VM.
Yeah, Windows. Connecting to that VM. See, what is the difference between creating a VM, and the app service? App service, it's like everything is predefined. Many templates are there. Everything, we did not do anything. We just created an app service and directly we started using it. Whereas the VM, that is not the case. You need to uh, work on your prerequisites, like what is required to deploy my application, what is required to run my application. You need your .NET, you need your IAS to deploy your application because this is a web application. So all these things you have to work on it, right? So that is the difference. If you use the app service and the VM, ultimately your goal is here also you'll get some web URL, you'll be accessing it. Even app service, you'll get one web URL, you'll be using it. Time. Is this configuration prediction because it could not be configured port unable to configure just in time. That is okay. Ultimately, that is a pre. Why is it taking so much time? I will show you the documentation part. So, right. Your computer is low on memory. Super. Okay. So the basic VM looks like this part we have tried yesterday, right? Created an app service, all those things. Now deploy some application on a virtual machine. We have created a VM. We'll see that why it is not because I have selected the basic one. Maybe that could be the reason. Okay. So ultimately, what you need to do, the VM, you need to install all these things, whatever is required, prerequisites for your project to run, right? So we have created a VM. You need to install IIS. Again, whichever option you are comfortable, you choose that option and install the IIS. And we need the .NET application. I mean, we are deploying the .NET application, right? So you need to install the .NET also. Different ways how to install, whether you can install through whatever these commands are using PowerShell, or you can download directly from the website and install it, right? It's up to you how you are going to install. Because of a protocol error, the remote session is okay. What is the problem? Try to connect. Not even connecting. Okay, assume there are everything, all the prerequisites are installed in this VM. Okay. Now we want to deploy the web application.
Can we create Ubuntu VM?
Sorry,
Ubuntu mission.
going to mission. Okay, now this is done. I'll show you that also. Okay, I'll show you the steps first. Okay. So now log into your DevOps portal, dev.azure.com. This is the pilot, right? This one, this one, this one. Under the pipelines. So you need a deployment group basically. So you create a deployment group. First thing you need to do what? I mean, you need to create a deployment group. About. Okay. So now we have just created a deployment group. So what is the use of this? In this deployment group, we are going to have a virtual mission whichever it is, which you have created in the previous step. We are going to register here. We see here right now, no targets. So ultimately, you need to execute this script on your virtual machine, right? Use a personal access token. Copy the script. This that is happening. Cost is different. So just creating a bit higher end system than the previous. Earlier it was 1 rupee, now it is 10 rupees almost per hour charge. I think earlier the problem was it was showing some issue, right? But it was temporary one. It has created successfully, but looks like it did not. Resource. Some issues here again here while creating virtual machine agent status is not ready. Refresh. Still not ready. This service is complicated about it. Still ready. is connecting. Let's run this in admin mode. Okay. Now just paste that script, whatever we have copied. See what it is trying, it is doing. It is downloading the agent into local system, and it will what is it? Marking it as a agent to connect to your DevOps portal. Like if you know the Jenkins, how to create an agent, same thing we're doing here. It should connect to the server, DevOps server, whatever we have connected. Let us wait for 1 minute. First, it will download the agent, it will install the agent, then it will try to connect to the server. Now it is connecting to, see, your agent is installed. Now it is connecting to server. So enter the deployment group for agent, press enter. Yes. See, whatever the group we have created, right? You can add multiple agents for that. Okay. Taking away. Now what type of we are doing? We are going to use the web only, right? This is for tag. Maybe what you can do, like tag is actually used to group the things, like all your database together one group, all your dev related one together, all QA related one together, like that. Okay. Enable service type restricted for. I don't go to the default topic. The user is important. You on see if you are familiar with again Jenkins, right? So you can decide the Jenkins service using which user ID it has to run. So similarly, this is an agent. So and which user account you need to use it here, right? You want to use the system account, or in case some scenarios, what happens? you may have to use the personalized user accounts instead of system accounts, right? Basically, the Azure pipeline is going to execute using this ID. So again, the permissions, everything matters. So you should be very careful while choosing it based on whatever the your requirement, you choose it, right? Okay, with the system. Now, a Windows agent has been installed on this system here. And for this, the permissions already given, whatever the, like, what is this? Now, if you see, whether you want to start the service or not, it really doesn't matter. Let it start. If you go to services, right? Services.msc. You can see that VS agent service, whatever you have here, VS agent. Now, if you go to your now, if you go and check your deployment groups, on this targets, you see here, because we executed, we created that VM as an agent. Like this, you can create one for QA, one for dev, one for whatever the production. You run the same script. So everything will be added under this group. So you can deploy later. We'll see that. See the tags, whatever we gave, those information are displayed here. Okay. The procedure remains same. There is no difference, right? So what we have done here, basically we have created a deployment group. Deployment group is nothing but a collection of targets, you can say. You can install whichever number of VMs you want based on your project. Okay. Now virtual machines are added. Now what is that? Now, just change the target in pipeline. That's all. Is pipelines. Create a new release. I'm just creating a new release pipeline. Okay. Earlier we have selected while creating, if you remember, app service as our target. Now we are going to select this VM. Okay. What we have done. Sorry, I was creating a new release, which I made a mistake here. It is executing the previous one, but my requirement is to create a new release pipeline, not the existing one. Here, what I want, we need IAS. So I'm going to deploy this. Okay. Now the required jobs are added automatically, right? Here, IAS web app manage, IAS web app deploy. Here,
ISS,
sorry.
ISS web app manage, web app reply.
Huh. So that is
What
the predefined tasks which are part of the template to deploy. I'll tell you. See what happens with the IaaS web app manage, right? There will be a task here. First, it will check whether website is there or not. If it is not there, it will go and create, right? Assume we have not installed IaaS in the target system. There will be something here. You can enable. Okay, you can enable IaaS. What it does, even if IaaS is not enabled, it is not installed on the target system. First, it will try to create the IaaS, enable the IaaS. This and it will. This is the physical folder which it is going to create. Right. Now here we need to select. This is our deployment group. This is the deployment group. This is what we gave, right? Deployment group name, if you remember. Right. And tag name as web. That's what we created. So I selected web. This is the tag which we created. So whichever VMs have the tag web, or in all those targets, it is going to deploy this. Okay. Here, maximum number of targets in parallel. Right now, we have only one. Right. It doesn't matter with the free subscription whether it is one or multiple. Right now, we have only one parallel job which is enabled for the free subscription. In case if it is multiple, and how many you want to target in parallel. Let's say you want to deploy for 20. If you try to do all the 20 at a time, there will be a problem. So you can define the number here. Okay. And that's all here. So under the select the deployment group which you want and just add the tags on which targets, because you may have 100 out of 100 you want to just deploy only for dev. The dev VMs may be a 20 out of 100. So your tag should be dev. So if you add the dev, it will go and deploy only into the dev part. Okay. Now we'll go to the deploy. What will deploy this? This is my artifact directory, if you remember, from your previous one. So the zip file will be picked it from the artifact directory, which will come from, we have seen that in the previous sessions, right? So whatever the artifacts will get downloaded as part of the default pipeline, the same artifacts will be deployed here into the default website, right? You can change it in case if you want, but I'm going ahead with the default ones. I don't want to change. It's all your choice. Again, if you go here, here you have the option to change. Here. Okay. Let's just record here. And this is also make sure, right? During the deployment, take app offline, right? So generally what happens if you have multiple virtual machines as a targets, so we are going to divide that. First few virtual machines will bring it down because my application should be up always, right? So 0 downtime. So in that case, so distribute that load. So that way, because not like your
what do you mean by take our app offline? Could you come again?
see what happens when you are deploying it, right? So the service will be stopped in the target VM.
Okay, if we don't want to stop the service continue, it should be available means we can uncheck that too, right?
It completely depends on your requirement. Let's say the patch what you are applying requires a restart, then it makes sense bring it down and bring it up, right?
Yes.
Because even if you apply the patch, it won't reflect until and unless if you restart.
Yeah.
For few patches like cosmetic changes, you don't need to restart. Automatically, if your HTML page is refreshed, automatically your GUI also will be refreshed.
Okay.
So based on the patch, what you are going to apply, or the based on application, what is required for your application, you have to decide all these things.
Okay.
But these are the options which are available. That's what I'm trying to show. Okay. Say these are the remove additional files at destination. Uh, Very dangerous this thing, right? Because let's say as part of your pre-configuration, right? Prerequisites, you would have done some configurations. As part of that, you would have added some files. If you select this, when you deploy this, it will go and delete other than the files which are required or which are as part of this bundle. So you should be very careful. If you are sure that you don't have any dependency, then only select this. Otherwise, leave it blank. Okay. Right. So what we have done here, I selected the group and filtered on which targets you need to apply. In my case, it is fixed, right? This is the settings you need to do. Now, same thing like what we have done yesterday. Add artifact, whether classic pipeline or classic or AML. You can take it from AML or classic, whichever. Right. Again, AML, I'm selecting classic because we'll learn AML in next sessions. We'll create all these things, whatever we are trying to do with the AML file. Okay, just save it. Same, rename it to whatever the name. Assume this is a dev, right? Development. Okay. So exactly same what we have done for app service yesterday. Only the target is different. There is no difference at all. Okay, just save. What is this? Okay, save and create a release. This might take some time because we have not done the prerequisites. So first it will try to, it will try to install IAS, all these things. Because we enabled,
Where it can install IAS, everything.
sorry?
It will install on VM, right? Windows VM.
Yes, yes. Because while adding your task, right, we have selected, right, enable IAS. First it will check whether it, wait as well. The service is running. We started service, right? Service starting immediately after configuration. Yes. So ultimately, this is simple actually. You see, we have just create a targets, then install. This is like, just rerun it. Will release pipelines, which is my deployment to a VM. Maybe this could be the reason, because already I have one parallel job which is running approval. Why pending approve for what? I already approved. Yes. Approve. Approve. But the process, you got it right, while that it's completed, right? So the process is simple. While creating the release, you need to select what is your target, basically what type of application you are creating, right? Edit the pipeline. Here, sorry, I'm in this one. Edit. Here. When you add this template, automatically it will add the jobs and the respective tasks within that. In those tasks, you need to select what is your target, whether it is a VM, whether it is an app service, and within the app service or VM, whether it is a QA development, whichever it is, based on your configuration. So select that. That's all. That is the major difference. Otherwise, there is no difference. Rest of the things remain same. You need to link your artifacts. Just then create multiple stages if you want. Okay. So where is this? Let's see. Production is happening. This, because for the free account, only one parallel job is enabled. So that is max, only one job is allowed. Two. The one which is running actually. Just now, this is what we have installed. It should.
Same Linux VM also we can do same thing, right?
Sorry?
Linux VM also.
Any VM. It doesn't matter, right? As long as your agent is available, it really doesn't matter whether it is Linux or only matters is agent name is matching or not.
We are deploying to the WAR file into the VM.
That's all. So how are we doing it? Just we are selecting the target. Yeah, now it is in progress. Earlier it has failed because other was in running state. So that's all. Now it is deploying. IIS deployment is in progress now. Okay, this will take some time, minimum more than 10 minutes. Hope it is clear now, the process, right? See, simple what we have done. You have your what do you say, DevOps portal, and you can have your, it can be an app service, it can be a VM, it can be some Docker, anything, right? So your artifacts are here. Now, while moving your artifacts to a target system, you need to select what is your target. It can be a VM. If it is VM, just select that respective one. If it is a app service, select the app service, right? Here you need to define that. So just select the respective target in the drop-down list. Nothing complicated here. This will take some time because IIS has to install. Okay. But in real time, first time it will take this much time because first time IIS and all will be installed. Second time onwards, it should not take so much time. Whatever is the expected time to deploy your application, within that time it will be done. The initial setup takes some time. Okay.
Windows VM only we mentioned IAS deployments management or both.
Yes, under the management, I have enabled IIS. So that is the reason. Because
Linux we don't.
I have not installed the IIS in this system. Enabled basically. So
Okay.
that is the reason before deploying, first make sure to enable IIS so that my application can run smoothly. Without IIS, there is no point in deploying, right? So that is the reason I asked enable to deploy first. I selected the options like that.
In Linux we don't any installation, right? Only directly we can copy the WAR file into VM, Linux VM only.
That's what it depends on what steps are required to deploy your application completely, right? If deploying WAR file into the any VM, whether it is assume your Tomcat is already running somewhere,
Hmm.
just move your WAR file into the web apps folder. That itself is enough, right?
Yes.
So automatically your application will be up and running.
Yes.
It depends what is required to run your application. Those steps you need to enable. That's all. Okay, but process wise, it is same. Okay. And we tried continuous integrations, right? We saw that already yesterday. Modifying and committing here. Just automatically it will be enabled. Same thing. If you want to enable for VMs, here go to your pipelines, release pipelines. So here, this is your deployment to VM, edit. Here, continuous integration. Right now it is disabled. If you enable, automatically as soon as if you want to add the branch, right now I have only one branch, so I don't need to worry. So automatically it will be deployed into your VM. There is no difference, same as it is. Only that initial setup you need to, what do you say? Okay, is it clear? Okay. So these steps we followed already, creating a deployment group, adding and running the script, install the Azure pipeline on the Azure extensions, those things. Given the commands here, steps, options, everything. How to run it also. Multiple options. So before that, just want to show still going on. So deployment to VM is also completed now. You can see here. Release 2 is done. Okay. See what and all it has done. You have a complete information. Okay. Yeah. First initialize the app, then download artifacts. You can see here, IIS Web Manage, that is completely setup was done. This took some time. This is what I was telling. Next, IIS Web Deploy. It has deployed, right? This is what same story. There is no difference. What it was done for app service, even the VM also it has done. To go and check, you will have files, everything, whatever has been downloaded in the VM. What is our public IP? Remember? Permissions. This one. This one. So what? This is what our application. Hello World app, web app. You see here in the VM, it has deployed here inside the initpub w. Okay. To confirm, there is a VM. It's taking the here you can see.
5000 port is not available, not enable.
Yeah. No, it is okay by default. It is allowing, right? It is allowed. So make sure whatever the IP port number you are using, it should be allowed here. You can choose any and what all the description, custom, which port you want to enable, all those things, allow or deny, completely you can have under the VM. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubt so far? Or deploying into your app service or deploying into your virtual machine?
Monday we can try to one Linux machine, we can understand more.
You can try Linux system. In case of any issues, let me know. There is no difference in the process. Like what we have done in the app service, like what we have done in the VM. Just running the script. What we have done it right, created a VM and just executed the script. That's all. You execute the script, whatever you have here under the group.
Same ISS management, ISS deployment only we can use.
Whatever is required for application. For this, if you are using the same application, yes. There is the deployment group. Select this. Details. Just execute this, irrespective of whichever the VM, whether it is Linux or whichever it is. Okay. So that will automatically read the data. If you see this, there are a lot of parameters. It will read from the current VM, then it will execute this. Just enabling agent, that's all. Okay. See, that's why again, don't stick to the whether it is Linux, whether it is .NET or whether it is Java. What you need to concentrate here is the process, because your Azure is giving a lot of predefined scripts here. Just copy this and execute, that's all. Whichever the VM.